Nikki Cottom here, and welcome to easiest ever natural, safe sunscreen. Okay, if you're in a pinch, you don't have enough time to really throw something big together, but you want to just put something on and run out the door, a great source is if you have coconut oil, zinc oxide, and maybe some lavender essential oil from doTERRA. That's awesome. Okay, so why don't I just go buy stuff from the store? Well, it's most of the ingredients in there are very toxic and they kill coral reefs. So they're not safe for you, they're not safe for the environment, they're not safe for kids. They load your body with toxins that actually can show up in the bloodstream within hours. Okay, bloodstream, urinary tract. You can find traces of those toxic chemicals. So I don't want those floating around my body. No, thank you. I get enough from pollution and all that stuff. I don't need to put some stuff on myself. Okay. All right. So here's the hack. Just grab a little bit of coconut oil, just a tiny dab. Okay, depending on if you're putting it on just yourself or your kids too. A little bit of zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is really probably the most important ingredient in here. It's a natural sunscreen type of thing. Okay, so I got some coconut oil, some zinc oxide, and just a couple drops of lavender essential oil. doTERRA lavender, okay? Wouldn't try anything else, okay? All right, so you're gonna see, it's kind of like a white, like a sunscreen-ish, right? So rub it on. You may have seen in old movies or even nowadays, lifeguards will just put a little bit of the zinc oxide powder on their nose and just to keep sunburns away so that the rest of their bodies can tan, and that's cool. Okay, let's put it on wherever, going out to the store, to the park. It's slightly water resistant, but not tons, okay? So, but it's great if you're running to the park and you don't have a lot of time, just put it right on. Okay, so that is hack number 1. Stay tuned for hack number 2, which is an awesome recipe that you are going to be able to make at home. It's going to be awesome for you and your family. So stay tuned. Here it comes. Okay, so the second recipe I wanted to talk about is super easy and it's kind of cool. All right, so what you're going to need is you're going to need a scale because some of these measurements are a little bit precise. All right, so you're going to need a scale. You're going to need a double boiler, and you're going to need a container to put the sunscreen, like one of these, okay? Or whatever you have around, right? Okay, so the ingredients in here are, you're gonna need about 90 grams of coconut oil that I've melted already here. You're going to need like a olive oil. You're gonna need an olive oil or fractionated coconut oil, whichever you prefer. You're gonna need about 65 grams of that. Then you're going to need beeswax, about 28.5 grams of that. So I've got them all here. They're not necessarily in the proper measurement cups, but they're close enough. Okay, and so the next thing you're going to need is shea butter, and you're going to need about 27.5 grams of that. And then you're going to need about 40 grams zinc oxide. So zinc oxide is like the big one here. Okay, zinc oxide is awesome. See, you can tell, like, you can't even tell I'm wearing that zinc oxide coconut oil lavender concoction, but I smell amazing and it's awesome. Okay, and then if you want to use some vitamin E oil, that's also great. Vitamin E is great for the skin. So all of these things are great for the skin, non-toxic. They're going to be good for you. They're going to allow some good rays from the sun, which your body needs, but it's going to block some more frequent the UVs. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, so while my double boiler is warming up to simmer, probably about medium heat, I just wanted to talk about the doTERRA essential oils I have up here that I failed to mention, and that's probably one of the more exciting parts. All right, so good essential oils to use are resin oils like frankincense, sandalwood, myrrh, that type of thing. Okay, and also floral oils. Okay, florals are going to be great for the skin, and resins are going to be great for the skin. So, copaiba is another resin. All right, so you could use any of those and any combination of those you really like. You could also use tea tree oil since that's great for the skin too. I would avoid citruses by all accounts. Citruses actually make the body more sensitive to heat, which is really what you don't want. So up here, I have sandalwood, lavender, frankincense, ylang ylang, geranium, melaleuca, which is tea tree oil, and helichrysum. Now, we'll just see what I feel like putting in at the time, but you're probably going to want to use about 20 drops of whatever essential oils you're looking for. Okay, so now that the double boiler is warmed up enough, it's at a simmer, I'm going to put all the ingredients one by one in except for the zinc oxide and essential oils, which will go in last. So I'm going to put in the 90 grams of coconut oil just in here. Make sure there's no water that gets in this top part, okay? I've already melted that coconut oil, so it's easier. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the olive oil. Both of these are organic, the coconut oil and the olive oil. And the olive oil is 65 grams, so I'm going to put that in. Okay, the next one is the beeswax. This is 28.5 grams of beeswax, and so I'm going to put that in. This is really what I need to melt. It's the only thing that I have not melted previously that needed to be melted. And then the shea butter, it's 27.5 grams of shea butter that goes in there as well. So now I'm just going to whisk it up while the beeswax melts here. Everything else is melted that needs to be melted. Oh, I forgot the vitamin E. Haha. The half a teaspoon of vitamin E oil that I was talking about right here. Okay, there we go. All right, now we've got everything we need except for the zinc oxide and the essential oils. And the reason I don't put either of those in is the zinc oxide will lose a lot of its properties if it's heated with everything else too much. And then the essential oils always lose their properties when they're heated, which is why most essential oils on the market are no good, because they try to heat the impurities out of it instead of starting off pure, and then they don't get a very pure batch because they've heated too much. All right, so now I'm heating it. It's doing a pretty good job. The beeswax is melting. What I'm going to do after this is all melted is I'm going to remove it from the heat and then wait for it to, well, actually it's doing really fast. It's going really, really fast. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much all melted. The beeswax, there's maybe one tiny little thing left. So I'm going to turn off the heat here and wait just a second longer so that this last little bit can melt. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to remove it from the heat, and then we're going to add the zinc oxide and the essential. Okay, now that we've removed it from the heat, it's actually a really, really pretty amber gold color. So very, very pretty. Now we just need to add the zinc oxide and the essential oils. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to gradually add this, so a little bit at a time. Okay, that's really important here, is to only add a tiny bit at a time to make sure it's well incorporated. And what we're going to do, the beeswax will actually harden after this is all done, so we'll just need to give it a while to cool, and we can do that in the refrigerator, or if you're going for really fast, you can put it in the freezer even. But now it's kind of more of a buttermilk yellow color, which I'll show you in a second. But yes, we've got a beautiful color here. Lovely, lovely color. Let me show you here. So now it's, yeah, more of a buttermilk yellow, like a pale yellow, which is pretty. Oops. Okay. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to add the essential oils. And because it's a little bit hot, I'm actually going to wait a minute till I can actually touch it, and then I know it's cool enough to add the oils. Okay. So now that it's cool enough I can touch it, it's also cool enough that it's hardening. So we have to be aware of that and just get it just right. And I am favoring lavender. That's a favorite in my house. So I'm going to put about 10 drops. Perfect. And then I'm going to put a little bit of frankincense today and maybe a couple drops of sandalwood. whoever wears sandalwood, I'm always like drawn to them. I think it's the most beautiful scent on certain people. Always dropping my oils here. So I'm just gonna put a few drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. If it'll come out. There we go. Okay. And then a little bit of ylang, maybe 3 drops. Okay, so we want around 10 drops. All right, and then we're gonna mix it all together and we'll look at the consistency here. All right, so the consistency is actually starting to thicken, as you can see. So I'm just gonna reuse this zinc oxide bowl container I had my stuff in. See, fits just perfect in there. And then I think this is about a 2-cup Pyrex here. And I'm just gonna use a scraper here. Just scrape the rest because it's already started cooling. And it's all gonna be that consistency in a couple minutes, so don't worry if it's not the same consistency right now because the bottom has already started hardening. And you can give it a quick little mix if you want. Right there if you want, or you can just let it harden on its own, and that will maybe be prettier because then it won't be scraped along the sides. But either way, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. It's going to work really, really well. And so in our family full of redheads, we need something awesome. Oh my goodness. This is like something that I feel like you could wear anyway just for fun, like a natural perfume. But it's like super healthy and non-toxic. So awesome. Thanks so much for doing this with me. Hope you have the best of luck making yourself an awesome doTERRA essential oil sunscreen concoction. Okay, so this has been in the fridge for about 10 minutes. You can see it's not gonna fall out. It's not even runny, but it is still a little bit, like if I touch it, I still get some on my hands. But there's no wrong time to put it on as long as it's not hot. You can put it on any time. But I wanted to have my little girl here just to verify how she thinks it smells. She wasn't here when I made it. Go ahead and give it a smell. What do you think?
It smells good.
Does it smell good?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to wear it on your skin? I take that as a yes. And it goes on shimmery, but nice. So it's not too far from normal sunscreen applications. And I'll just keep this in the refrigerator until I need it.
Freezer?
No, not the freezer. In the refrigerator until I need it. It'll harden a little bit more, but that's fine. It'll be amazing. All right, so it's amazing. The lavender and the sandalwood especially are awesome. So go make your own.